What do we think is in the red pouch? What can we remember? She pulled out a wooden block on the ink pad and then stamped it on a piece of paper. "This is my name," she said. "My grandma gave it to me in Korea. I can use it as a signature when I open my bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it?" She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. "Wow, that's beautiful," Joey said. "Can I keep the paper?" "Sure," Eunhae said. And then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day the jar got fuller and fuller with more names, and Eunhae read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda. This, boys and girls, it's the stamp that her grandma gave her that says Eunhae's name in Korean. How cool is that? I wish I had a stamp that had my name on it that was in Korean. Isn't that so neat and cool? Boys and girls, I also really liked how the boy that was talking to Eunhae was so polite and wanted to ask if he could use the stamp, and he just thought it was the coolest thing ever, and he was so polite and kind to his new friend. Miranda, Stella, Avery, they sounded interesting. I hope you chose the name I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I've put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, and Lex. These are my favorite street names. Maybe you should close your eyes and just draw a name, Rosie suggested. So there's Eunhae with her name jar at her desk. Boys and girls, what name do you think she's going to pick? What name do we think she's going to pick out of the jar? I don't know. We'll have to read and find out. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. Everyone thought about this. When Eunhae got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandma. That's so nice. There's Eunhae and her little brother. She opened it quickly. It said, "To my Eunhae, I hope you are enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are, and no matter how different America is from Korea, you'll always be my Eunhae, your grandma forever." Eunhae took her wooden stamp and filled her paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. Boys and girls, there is Eunhae's letter. And there's Eunhae thinking about it. Boys and girls, I don't know if you can see that. But what language do you think that letter is written in? What language have we been talking about? Let's think. Korea. You're right. It's Korean. On Saturday, Eunhae walked to Mr. Kim's store. Mr. Kim was helping a customer. But he looked up and greeted her. "Hi, Eunhae." "Hello, Mr. Kim," Eunhae replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighborhood in Korea. Boys and girls, does that make you feel happy when someone says hi to you? Yeah? Does it make you feel full of joy, and does it make you want to be kind to others? Yeah, me too. Hey, said the customer, turning around. It was Joey. Your name is Unhei? He asked with his eyes open wide. Unhei replied, looked quickly at Mr. Kim, then turned to Joey. She nodded slowly. Yes, it's pronounced Yoonhei. And it means grace, Mr. Kim added. Yoonhei, said Joey slowly, and this time perfectly. It made Yoonhei smile. I'll have it ready for you tomorrow, said Mr. Kim to Joey. Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you Monday. Yoonhei, Joey said to her. He left before she could ask him why he was at the store. On Monday, Yoonhei came to class early to look at the names one last time. Boys and girls, do we still think that Yoonhei is going to pick a name? But the jar wasn't... Oh, I forgot to show the picture. Okay, here are the pictures. But the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was a single piece of paper with the name on it. Unhei slipped it in her pocket. What's your name? Where's your name jar? Ralph asked as she soon saw it was gone. I don't know, Unhei said. It was on Mr. Kokoto's desk or any other desk. It wasn't on the counters or any of the shelves. As the other kids arrived, they helped look. Soon, Mr. Kokotos came in, and Ralph shouted at him, The name jar is gone, the jar with all the names in it. Gone, Mr. Kokotos replied, with a look of concern. He asked Unhei, Did you get a chance to read all of the names? Unhei nodded. She took a breath. I am ready to introduce myself, she said. Unhei wrote her name in both English and Korean on the chalkboard. I like the beautiful names and funny names you thought of for me, she told the class, but I realized that I liked my name best, so I chose it again. Korean names mean something. Unhei means grace. Grace Inhai, shouted Ralph. Everyone tried to say it. Yin-ye, un-ye, un-hei. Yoonhei said her name again slowly and clearly. Soon the kids began to say it better, even Mr. Kokotos. Then they applauded Yoonhei's choice. I was named after a flower, Rosie whispered to Unhei. Lots of American names have meaning too, Mr. Kokotos reminded everyone. When the class was dismissed, Unhei heard her new friend say goodbye. Bye, Unhei. See you tomorrow. Goodbye, Unhei. Unhei said goodbye and then looked around for Joey, but he was already gone. Boys and girls, is it sometimes hard to pronounce someone's name at first when you first meet them? What should we do if we can't pronounce someone's name right and we want to be friends with them? Yes, we ask them again and we practice. We practice saying their name the right way. Here is the picture of Unhei drawing her name on the chalkboard. Unhei, come downstairs, Mother called up to Unhei. Your friend is here. Unhei rushed down to see who she meant. There stood Joey, and in his arms was... Boys and girls, what do we think is in his arms? It was the name jar. Where did you find it? Asked Unhei breathlessly. Joey looked embarrassed. Well, I took it, but only because I wanted you to keep your own name. And you did. He reached in and pulled out the names. Do you want to keep them? He asked. Here is the pictures. Thank you. I'll keep them as a souvenir, Eunhae said happily. Then she pulled out a piece of paper from her pocket. Do you want this back? Joey grinned. You can keep it. I'll return the name jar to the class. Maybe you could put some Korean nicknames in it for us. Names with good meanings. I could do that, agreed Eunhae. I've already got a Korean nickname, Joey said. Mr. Kim helped me choose it. Carefully, he pulled a small silver felt pouch from his pocket. Then he took a dark wooden stamp with the beautiful Korean characters carved sharply into it. He pressed it on the ink pad and then on the piece of paper next to her name. Chinku, read Eunhae. That means friend. And Chinku smiled back. Here's the picture. And that is it. This is the end, my friends. I hope you guys liked that book. I think I have a few discussion questions to talk about. So, am I using the story as a window or a mirror, or both for your students? For this book, I am using it kind of as both. I just want kids to see that there is other cultures out there, and they might be sitting right next to them in a classroom, or we might get a new student. And it's important for also them to realize that there are other cultures, but it's important for them to realize what they need to do to make friends with them, because a lot of times students do not always feel welcomed when they first come to a new class. What else do you need to know about his culture to help your students understand? I would need to know what language they spoke, maybe some traditional habits that they had, clothes that they wore, maybe. Just to give my students maybe some background. I think that would be super fun. Are there any parts that the students might make inappropriate comments about, and how would you address them? So at the beginning, some students might say, why is she being bullied? Like, why are the kids making fun of her name? Why does she look different? Or and at this point, I would say, well, it's because in our world now, we are so grateful that we can have so many different cultures, and it's okay. And there are many different people out there that do not look the same as us, and that's okay too, because we were each created in our own unique personality, and we each have our own unique look. And that's okay too, because if we all look the same, this would be a very boring world. And if we all look the same, it'd be hard for us to make friends with others. I hope that answers all the questions, and I'm going to go ahead and end this video because it's super long. Thank you guys so much for your time.